Um, yeah, I got an intro, so let's just, D- bitch.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You
Hello.
guys probably know that some of the most iconic horror films are the Saw movies.
Yeah.
There are 8 of them to date and they've had such a massive impact on popular culture that there's even a Simpsons episode featuring its ideas.
What the? I'm chained up like a common bicycle.
But let's get into the video where we'll break down the movie
I've
as
never
well as
seen
how you
that.
can beat all of the traps in it. The original Saw movie starts with 2 men waking up in a torture chamber
I
chained
remember
to
this.
pipes by their ankles. Neither of them know anything about what's going on or why they're here. One of the men is a photographer named Adam, and the other is Lawrence
A
Gordon,
lawyer or
medical
doctor? He's a doctor.
Although they believe they've been chosen randomly, named Adam, and the other is Lawrence Gordon, a medical doctor.
Doctor, yeah,
Although they
I
believe
remember.
they've been chosen randomly, their storylines are actually very closely intertwined, but more on that later. In the middle of the room, we see a man lying on the floor who's holding a revolver in one hand and a tape recorder in the other. Both Adam and Lawrence then find microtapes in their pockets and play them. Adam's tapes
Bro. At the end, I mean, y'all probably know what's going on, you know what I mean? This movie's old as shit. So, bro, when homie just stood up, yo.
that he must survive,
That's
while
crazy.
Dr. Gordon's tape says that he must kill Adam by 6 p.m. to escape this room and see his kidnapped wife and daughter again. On his tape, we also hear a voice in the background mention that he must follow his heart. This leads them to check the toilet that has a heart drawn on it. In it, Adam finds a bag with 2 saws and a bunch of pictures. He throws one of the saws to Lawrence but hides the photos from him. They try to cut the chains but soon realize that they're supposed to cut off the foot and chains to free themselves.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
And this is where there are some opportunities to free yourself without doing what's intended. The easiest way to overcome this is to cut through the rusty pipes instead of the metal chains. Rusty metals are known to be far weaker than ones that aren't, and judging by the state of this disgusting bathroom, these pipes should be pretty soft. And if that doesn't work, there's still another way. They could, for example, take the big solid
Forgot about
toilet
that.
tank lid and try breaking the padlock that holds them to the pipes. The lid might eventually break, but forcing open a padlock with brute force has been shown to work in the past, so it's at least worth a try. The last thing you could do is cutting off a small piece of your foot instead of the entire thing. Either cut through the bone that sticks out of your foot or remove a part of your heel, depending on how the chains are attached. This would be extremely painful, but it's far quicker and better than cutting off your entire foot, but this one is probably the easiest. Anyways, now we get a flashback that reveals the first big chunk of clues regarding the villain of the movie. We follow 2 cops, Tap and Singh, who see the
Please,
crime sites of
shut up. Just shut up. Stop. Stop. Alright? Damn, man. Like, what the fuck?
2 previous victims of the killer. The first one we see is a man who has
Oh,
a
shit.
small maze filled with razor wire. If he can't complete the task, he will be
Oh, bro, I remember that shit. Oh. Oh, the fuck?
there to rob. And this guy had the fairly interesting approach of throwing himself onto the wire. I don't
That
get
shit
it.
was so
And this guy
stupid.
has a maze filled with razor wire. If he can't complete the task, he will be left there to rot. And this guy had the fairly interesting approach of throwing himself onto the wire. I don't know what he thought would happen, but if you're ever in this situation, you should do the exact opposite. Notice how there are no wires on the floor. So the first step you should follow to beat this is crawling on the ground with your stomach side down to not expose any of your major veins to the wire. And since the wiring seems to have been put in place rather loosely, you could try taking the underwear, put it around your hands, and use it to carefully push the wire out of the way. Now escaping this maze might take some time, but there's a good reason why you got 2 hours to complete it. Instead, what this guy did is panic and charge at the wire head on, which is not a good idea at all. But there's an even easier way to escape this, a way so easy it literally takes nothing. And this is simply doing nothing. If he does nothing, he's just left there. So if he's a guy with a family and lots of friends who are looking for him, they would have eventually discovered him. Now unfortunately he wasn't that type of guy, so he only got found after a couple of weeks. The police also find a jigsaw puzzle piece cut out of his back. This leads to our villain being dubbed as the Jigsaw Killer. Then we come to our second guy, who's named Mark, and this one is a little trickier. Mark was trapped in a room with glass on the floor. Honestly,
Okay, look, this is a reaction video, Like, so I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. Okay, Jigsaw probably did that shit for that last dude, Like he said, if you have a family, but he didn't. That's probably why he gave him that challenge, Because he knew nobody was gonna be looking for him, and he knew homie knew that shit too. So he's like, you know what I'm saying? You better. Yeah, as far as like just jump, I wouldn't do that. Cause like, you know what I'm saying? That shit would hurt, bro. Fuck that. Nah, I'd for sure like I mean, you're scared in the moment too. Like, it makes sense. I probably would, like, get my ass on the floor. I would not run because I know that shit would hurt. So I would not run. No, fuck that. Plus, he was just running around. He wasn't doing shit.
We hear that he was injected with a poison.
Shit was goofy.
To survive, he must use the candle to illuminate the wall that has
The black box. Alright, wait, what? Wait, okay. Yeah, homie's all lathered up in oil, right? And he's got that one candle. If the candle goes out, he can't see shit. If it touches him or touches anything in the room, it blows up.
was injected, so our villain being dubbed as the Jigsaw Killer. Then we come to our second guy, who's named Mark, and this one is a little trickier. Mark was trapped in a room with glass on the floor. On his tape, we hear that he was injected with a poison. To survive, he must use the candle to illuminate the wall that has a hidden code to the safe, which holds the antidote. However, the code is written among a bunch of other numbers on the wall. Also, he's covered in flammable gel, so I must be careful with that candle. This puzzle is often misunderstood, but essentially you have these numbers on the wall, but the combination of the safe is written slightly differently. It's Mark's job to find these hidden numbers and enter them into the safe to get the antidote to the poison in his body. If you're in this situation, there's kind of only one solution, and that is being extremely careful with a candle. Hold it at an angle and far away from your body. The numbers on the wall are really big, so there's no reason to get your head this close to them anyways. When it comes to the glass, there is something you could try. Instead of stomping on it like this, you could try pushing the glass out of the way. But that only works if it's a thin layer of glass on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the reason Jigsaw kidnapped this guy is that he skipped work. He called in sick when he really wasn't, and that's apparently enough to justify setting him on fire. While at this particular crime scene, the police find a pen light.
That's probably the stupidest reason, bro, that I can remember that he's used, because he usually like justifies it in a way. Not that this shit's no, please. Oh my god, bro, if I was ever in this, oh please, no. You know what I mean? No, just no. Oh my god, no. Like, imagine you, no, any of the, no. No. Wait, what was the thing? Okay, I forgot. Oh my god, I just started like, dude, if you imagine being in, no. Oh my god, no. Okay, yeah.
The fingerprints on it, and they come back as Dr. Gordon's. This leads them to the hospital where he
Bro,
works.
this is driving into my
A
scalp.
group of students about a patient with a brain tumor. One of the orderlies named Zepp interrupts him and informs us that his name is John. Soon after, Dr. Gordon is asked to speak to the police about the prints on the pen. Tap asks him to follow them down to the station where he witnesses a testimony with Amanda, the only known survivor of Jigsaw's games. She recalls how she woke up in a chair with a big machine strapped to her head. Then the TV turns on and we see the puppet Billy informing her about how the device will forcefully pry open her jaw and function as a reverse bear trap if she can't get the key from another man's organs. As she stands up from the chair, she removes the mechanical trigger and the timer to the trap goes off. She cuts the other guy open, retrieves the key, and manages to remove the mask. Amanda reveals to the police that she believes that her experience actually helped her with her drug addictions. Make of that what you will. To beat this one, you would firstly need to calm down. That's the key to most of these traps. Jigsaw wants you to panic without first getting a good sense of your surroundings, but you should do the opposite, and not start running around, as this trap gets triggered when you stand up and remove the mechanical trigger from the mask. So remain in the chair and carefully remove the trigger, and that way you have an infinite amount of time to remove the mask. The second way of beating this is demonstrated by a character called Hoffman, who was introduced in a later movie.
I wouldn't have figured that out.
He gets this trap put on him and he survives it by putting the mask in between two steel bars. The trap goes off but is blocked from opening by the bars. Since the rooms the characters are in aren't empty, you can probably find two parallel pipes or a small enough space to cram your mask into. Then you can probably...
Motherfucker smart. Like from the second movie kind of thing, like the same thing. It like stops it this way, from them closing in. And this one, it seems like it said reverse bear trap. No. It's a bear trap. Oh no, the reverse bear. Wait, what? Okay, basically, yeah. Homie saw that. That's how it opened. It goes this way.
Steel bars. The trap goes off, but is blocked from opening by...
Imagine how scared you are right there. Right before that shit.
By the bars. Since the rooms the characters are in aren't empty, you can probably find two parallel pipes or a small enough space to cram your mask into. Then you'll have more time to remove the mask. Yes, doing it this way can be quite painful, but again, it's better than dying. So now we return to Adam and Dr. Gordon, who slowly progress through their trap, before we get yet another flashback which also reveals a lot about the killer. We follow our two cops as they break into Jigsaw's lair. There, they discover a man tied to a chair. Unfortunately, Jigsaw returns while they're snooping around. He then sets off the trap to kill the man. While the police officers try to stop the machine, the killer reveals that he has a sickness inside of him. They actually manage to beat this trap by shooting at it, so this one is given to us. However, as Tap stops paying attention, in a split second he gets his throat cut by Jigsaw.
He was a good cop too. He was a good guy. I
But
remember.
manages to survive. The killer runs away but is pursued by Detective
No,
Singh.
yeah, he does
as the
survive, though.
Jigsaw, but manages to survive. The killer runs away but is pursued by Detective Singh, but he gets killed by another sneaky trap. This one, along with the one before that, are not really beatable, but it's also not a saw trap. You know, it's not intended to be beaten, so we're not counting these. Back in our torture chamber, Dr. Gordon finds a box that includes his cell phone which can only receive calls but not make them, as well as 2 cigarettes.
Right, imagine that, bro. Bro, that's like your dick getting hard, but like you can't, you know. Like, it can get hard, but you just don't feel anything. Like, what the fuck? Oh, that's tough.
With the cigarette comes a note that implies that Dr. Gordon can kill Adam by dipping one of the cigarettes in the poisoned blood of the man lying on the floor and making him smoke it. Lawrence tries making an outgoing call but only hears the phone's error message. This makes him remember what happened before. So we get another flashback revealing how Dr. Gordon was kidnapped and sedated in a parking garage after supposedly returning from work. In the flashback, he explains how he heard someone taking a picture of him shortly before he got attacked. The next thing he remembers is waking up in the bathroom. As we come back, Adam reveals one of the pictures he has been hiding from Gordon. In it, we see his wife and daughter tied up. Then Adam tells Gordon the last thing he remembered before he ended up here. He was developing photographs in his apartment when the power suddenly goes out, and while stumbling around his apartment, he gets overpowered by a man in a pig mask. Gordon then receives a phone call from an unknown number. He answers it and it turns out that it's his wife and kid. His wife mysteriously brings up Adam's name and tells Lawrence that he shouldn't believe his lies, and that Adam knew about him long before today. Adam comes clean and confesses to Dr. Gordon that he has been hired by Tap to spy on him, as
Tap?
Tap believed him to be the killer. It turns out that Adam took his picture.
Who's Tap? Oh wait, is Tap? Tap's the cop. Okay.
Tap to spy on him, as Tap believed him to be the killer. It turns out that Adam took his picture that night in the parking garage, but Lawrence wasn't coming
Right.
back from the hospital. In reality, he lied about that, as he was returning from a motel where he was about to cheat on his wife with one of his students. Lawrence claims that he was
Students?
returning from a motel where he was about to cheat on his wife. In reality, he lied about that, as he was returning from a motel where he was about to cheat on his wife with one of his students.
Pipe down now.
Lawrence claims that nothing happened, while Adam states that he doesn't care if he covered himself in peanut butter and had a 15-hooker gangbang. That's not important to the story, I just like mentioning it. Adam then reveals all of the pictures that were in the bag, and one of the photographs shows Zepp, the orderly at Dr. Gordon's hospital. This leads them to believe that he's the killer, and it is in fact Zepp who's holding Dr. Gordon's family hostage. However, as they figure this out, the clock strikes 6 p.m., which means that Lawrence's time to kill Adam is up, so his family will face the consequences. Zepp calls Dr. Gordon to tell him this, and he is about to shoot his wife, but she manages to free herself. A fight ensues which leads to the gun being discharged many times, but it doesn't hit anybody. Dr. Gordon hears the shots over the phone and panics as he believes that his wife has been killed. In a state of desperation, he saws his foot off and grabs the gun from the body and shoots Adam in the shoulder. Back in the apartment, we see that Tap noticed the noise and entered the apartment to save Lawrence's family. Meanwhile, Lawrence's wife and kid escape. Since both Zepp and the cops suck at shooting, Zepp also manages to escape and is chased back to the torture chamber to at least kill Lawrence. As he arrives in the lair, Zepp manages to kill Tap. He then wants to kill Dr. Gordon too, but
I remember he was a good dude. That shit was fucking. That shit blows, bro. When the good guy dies, that shit blows like major, bro. Just fucking like, you know, just horse fucking
to
shit.
at least kill Lawrence. As he arrives in the lair, Zepp manages to kill Tap.
Hello,
He
that
then
got
wants to
him.
kill Dr. Gordon too, but Adam, who was merely injured by the gunshot, manages to take Zepp out with a toilet tank lid. Lawrence escapes the torture chamber with his one remaining foot. Adam then finds one last tape on Zepp's body. This reveals that he's also merely a part of the game, and it's revealed that he was injected with a poison, and he only kidnapped Lawrence's family in order to receive the antidote once he completed all the tasks mentioned on the tape. Then the body who has been there the entire time stands up, and we learn that it's John Kramer, the man with the brain tumor from the hospital. It turns out that he's the mastermind behind all the Jigsaw killings. He peels off the prop latex on his head and leaves the torture chamber with Adam being left to starve. That concludes this video.
I forgot about Zeb. Alright, now I feel bad. I mean, he killed. Homie was just trying to survive. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
So now you know how to beat all of the traps in 2004's Saw.
Did he really? Did he tell us how to beat him? There weren't that many traps, huh? I feel like this shit was just a summary. He didn't tell us how to beat the traps. This is just a summary. I mean, he did the ones, like what, the first one with the heel cutting or whatever, right? The rusty thing. There weren't that many traps. There were way more traps in this one. This was just like a summary.
Overall, I'd say this movie, from pretty much any character's point of view, is fairly easy to beat. If I missed anything or got anything wrong, let me know. Anyways, I hope you guys liked it and that I get to see you guys in the next video.
I will see you in the next video, because these are pretty fire. Okay, yeah, so, I don't know, I feel like I didn't say too much, like, I feel like there weren't that many traps to put my input on, you know? Anyways. That's what's up. Appreciate y'all watching. If you made it to the end, I don't know. This is dope. Anyways, you know, I'm just gonna react to the next one. I'm gonna just crank these hoes out, bro. This is dope. I ain't really got an outro, so you know, I love you if you made it to the end. Thanks, appreciate you. Yeah. Bye.